Welcome to another edition of Security Tube Question Time. Today we've got Steve Wakefield with us from Ultimate Tools. We've interviewed Steve a few times, as you guys probably know already. Today we're going to talk to Steve about cost, because a few rumours flying around about the cost of the tool versus what else is out there. Hi Steve. Right, so tell us about the awesome Ultimate Letterbox Toolkit and why by some people it's viewed as costly. How much does it cost?
It costs £9.95 plus VAT, so if you're not back registered, probably £1,200.
So not too bad. I mean, I've seen what the kit can do. Doesn't sound a lot to me. Why do you think people are sort of kicking up a fuss about the cost? Is it sort of more expensive than any other things that are out there at the moment?
Well, there are obviously competitors out there, and some of the early developments and concepts out there are reasonably priced, but when they first come to the market, then they was obviously expensive at the time.
So what's a typical cost of a locksmith tool? Let's say I wanted to buy a safe pick. How much would that cost?
Oh, well, now you're going into a different realm. Well, not into a different realms really when you think of the concept. If you can buy one safe pick, might cost you £1,200 just for one safe pick will open up one type of safe.
So how often would you use that?
4 times a year. All depends.
So you use it 4 times a year, and how much does it cost?
1,000. But that's the most expensive one. You'd be about £1,000 plus VAT for a safe pick. But then you may not come up against that safe in a year, or you might come up against that safe like buses. They will come at once, and you'll do 6 safes that year for that cost.
Right. Okay. Whereas your kit, as I understand it, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but your kit you'd use every day, day in, day out.
If you're a locksmith that's constantly working on a road, yeah, then you'll be using it for gaining entry. You'll be using it day in, day out.
Such as, I mean, I know there's different types of locksmiths as well. So, if you was, let's say, a warrant locksmith, you'd be using it all the time, would you not?
All the time, yeah. That would be the thing that'd be your main piece of kit.
So, value for money.
Excellent value for money. In my presence of mind, for what the actual tool, our tool can do, it can do so much more than other competitors out there.
Right. So, a safe pick costs whatever it is, an expensive one over £1,000, and you might use it 4 times a year. Whereas your kit costs £9.95 ex VAT, and you could be using it every day if you was, let's say, a warrant locksmith or even a normal locksmith gaining entry. So what would a normal locksmith charge to gain entry if he was, let's say, central London?
If he's in central London, it all depends on actually the locksmith whether he works out the back of a van or he has a shop. But in central London, I think the service charge or call-out charges, whether they call it a call-out charge or they just say the standard labour charge, you're looking at the ranges starts from about £100 up to probably £150.
So you're not going to take too long really before you've actually paid for your tool?
No, not in a busy or an area like a city or something like that. Don't forget you've got obviously for the locksmith you've got cost in you actually travelling from A to B in a busy city. It may take you 45 minutes to get from A to B.
Okay, but still a locksmith charging £100 or £150 and he's using it every day, versus someone that would buy a safe pick for the same sort of money and not really use it.
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from there, but you've got to look at the situation as where you are. If you're, say, for instance, working in an urban area, not actually within the city, then you may not use the kit as much, but it will still be one of those kits that every locksmith will use a lot throughout the year. So in that way, it's a very cost-effective tool for you to get your money back.
Okay, so there are other tools out there that claim to do what yours does, and they're half the price. How do you justify then charging more?
Yeah, well, if you come down to the cost of the actual tool itself, I mean, we had one here, one I prepared earlier. The main cost for us actually to develop the tool is the actual drive itself here. Now the drive itself cost us £300. It's been specifically designed for us. That's not the head, that's just the main drive with the stem and the block, not with the other attachments that are on the main head.
This bit here, yeah?
Yeah, the drive and its main head here, okay, without the other parts that's attached to it. That cost us around about £300. So obviously that's the main bulk of the cost. That cost us £300.
Gosh. And when you look at the tool, whether it's because it's, I don't know if ladies and gentlemen you know, but you might be looking at this thinking, oh, £9.95 for this bit of kit, that is bloody expensive. It's actually a 3-in-1 toolkit, is it not?
Yes, we did. We had the concept out there of letterbox kit. So the concept's been out there for quite a long time. So, but when we designed our tool, what we done is we've taken an existing concept and we just built upon that concept and added extra parts. We made ours with a standard letterbox kit that was tougher, so it doesn't come apart. And also then we moved on and added the flexi drive onto the top of a standard letterbox kit, so it still clicks together, so it all becomes gelled on as one, as part of the standard. And then we got a third part, which is a long pole with lots of other heads and bits and pieces that go on the end of a long pole.
And you've got one of these amazing sort of covert cameras too, have you not?
Yeah, we've obviously imported a camera that's designed, and we designed our kit around this camera because obviously the lens holders and everything are designed for this camera, but the camera's excellent.
And you've got loads of attachments for it as well, have you not?
Yes, we have.
Some with funny names, I understand.
Yeah, well, obviously everybody, whoever develops their own kit, likes to call their own attachments their own individual names. The thing about having loads of attachments, obviously it does make the cost of the actual kit go up the more attachments you have. But the situation is, when you're developing a tool, there's lots of challenges and lots of situations that you need to overcome. And originally the concept to have one head that does everything, wasn't there at that time, so we developed individual heads to do individual challenges that people might come up against.
So you've almost got a Dremel and somebody else has got a drill.
That's right. And then coming back to the cost again, the cost is a big issue. It's up to the individual. You might be able to go and buy a cheaper type version of what we've got here, but it's a difference between you're going out in the market and buying a cheap screwdriver or buying a snap-on screwdriver. The quality is completely different. It's only in the old thing, you only get what you pay for.
Okay, understand. Thanks so much for answering my question, Steve.
Thank you very much.
And before we go, if anyone's got any further questions, Steve has generously offered for you to contact him direct. You can send an email to steve@brights, with an S on the end, group.com, or you can visit the Ultimate Tools website, which is Ultimate, replacing the ATE with the number 8, tools.com. Thank you very much.